I'm Amanda, and I crave certainty. I kind of think that's a weird thing to crave, but I guess it's more the lack of uncertainty. And this just really showed itself a lot with school exams and tests ever since I was at least in grade 7. I would just get really, really nervous and anxious before a test, and my stomach would just feel like it would explode with a bunch of butterflies going all their gazillion different ways. And my friends would try and talk me down and just be like, it's okay, it's just a test. But I would still feel really, really nervous and sick before. And this still affects me now, though I try not let it show as much. It's also affected me going to activities and different events. Just not knowing completely what to expect would just make me really nervous about the last hour or half hour before it was to start, and just not knowing exactly what would happen or who would be there, or how it would go. But I found sometimes if I'd invite a friend, or my mom would walk me to the door, and just have that extra support to make sure I was okay and not just deserted by myself, that would help a little bit. But it also affected my relationships and how I would go about making friends. I didn't really want to put out the energy to invest in friends if I wasn't certain that it would develop into a good long-term relationship as a friend, because just making friends and putting out that extra effort to be social and friendly, I found just really nerve-wracking and would just take a lot of my energy. And so working on making friends, even though it's important, just didn't seem that important, especially after I had some friends over the course of my life just up and stop talking to me at random points. And so just the thought that new friends would just abandon me at some point just didn't seem worth all the energy. But I need friends, and I just didn't really know how else to handle my stress. But when I would start to get really nervous and anxious before events, there would be times when I'd remember the verse that says, when Jesus is saying that he will never leave us or forsake us. And so I really found comfort in that, and just knowing that God would never leave me alone, and so knowing that he would always be there walking through every event and thing in my life, just really started to give me peace about all these things that would stress me out a lot. And it just sank into me that Jesus isn't going to ever leave me, because if there was ever a point when Jesus would do that, it would have been when he was hanging on the cross, and he didn't. And so he died and went to hell and rose again for me. And so he's not going to decide now that that wasn't worth it, because he went through all of that. And so just knowing that Jesus paid everything just gives me comfort that he's always going to stay true to me, and he's going to be there for me and everything. And so through that, I just find comfort and peace, and I can just pray and talk to God and know that Jesus is right there when I'm nervous about not knowing what the future is going to have, because God knows it all, and he's going to see me through it. Yeah, my name's Amanda, and I crave certainty, and I found the solution to that in Jesus.